It shows that we're connected, and we are now live.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. October meeting. We're getting close to the end of the year. We've got basically this meeting, and then we have November's meeting, and then traditionally the December meeting has been kind of an end of the year party. So yeah, we kind of have, two regular council meetings to kind of wrap up loose ends and kind of put things in place for 2022. So we can kind of be thinking about what our goals are for the end of the year and kind of what we want to line up, teeing off, first thing when Jesse steps in for 2022. So I guess let's see here. Rodney, do you have attendance all squared away there?
I do, except for one of the phone numbers. I don't know who it is.
Oh, is that me? This is Lee. I'm on the phone.
Lee,
Might be me.
thank you. Lee, are you still a member, or have we talked about that, or what does that look like?
I don't think we talked about it, but what I would need to do is be ex officio in my position as a community forester rather than an individual member that's on the commission. Does that make sense?
It does. I'll put you down as a member for now, but we should talk about that during the meeting.
Okay. And if you have a way to mute me, please do that, because I don't from this end. I don't know how to do that. I'm on audio only and not on video, so there's no button to push to mute myself. So please mute me if you have that ability.
Are you on the phone ending in 83?
I'm sorry?
Are you on the phone number ending in 83 or 45?
Yes, I am. 83.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I guess first things first, do we have a quorum present today?
We do, yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Don't know if we have any voting items. We do have some discussion items. So, all right, great. So it looks like we've got most everybody here.
We do need to vote to approve the September minutes.
Yep. All right. So we got roll call. Let's go ahead and jump into that right now. Everybody see the minutes come in your emails? Any major changes, comments, additions? Okay. Yeah, I thought
There was a correction made to the place. It was incorrectly labeled as landscape management, so we changed that to WebEx Online.
Okay. Perfect. That's right. Yeah, I think we had set it up to originally do that, and then the guidelines came through. That's right. Good catch. So yeah, I didn't see any real major anything at all. So I think yeah, if anybody objects, I'll make a motion to have the council approve the September 2021 CTC meeting minutes and the September 2021 CTC committee meeting minutes. I guess we don't have the committee meeting minutes, do we?
We don't. We're just approving the minutes at this point.
Okay. Let's go ahead, omit the committee meeting portion of that. So the new motion is to approve the September 2021 CTC meeting minutes. Okay. It's like everybody approves.
Rodney, do I owe you September minutes? I thought I'd sent them, but if I haven't, I'll do that.
You may have.
Okay.
I get a little confused about what's the upcoming agenda and what's the minutes.
Me too.
If you could just send me a document that says September policy minutes,
I'll get it to you tomorrow.
then I'll just go ahead and record it and we'll be good.
Thank you.
Okay. Fantastic. So Pam sent out the treasurer's report. Thank you, Pam. Any major fluctuations, changes, charges, or expenses on that?
No, we had our usual interest for the money market of 17 cents. And we had one donation, and they wanted to get one of the trees. Rodney, are you gonna arrange for them to get that tree? Or did they
Phil
already
and
get it?
Phil and I have got that,
Okay.
and we've been in contact with the people, and so we're on that. The money's gonna just start rolling in. You just spend.
And then we had one donation on PayPal, a small one, and that was it.
Very cool. Were the donations local, or were they people we knew?
The one that wanted the tree, it certainly was local. The one on PayPal was me trying to get the numbers straight, since those since it took some money out of our PayPal account for something that I bought online, because I was for some reason still signed in. So I just donated some money, and because it's so hard to get it exact because PayPal takes a certain amount off.
Hmm.
So I donated money to cover it, and then whatever was left over is my donation. So that was it.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know back, seems like every once in a while, a couple from upstate New York would donate like $200 or something.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't gotten that in several years, I don't think.
Interesting. Yeah, it was just random thought, but that's great. Okay, anything else for the treasurer's report? Sounds
Nope.
okay. Good deal. Okay, so we'll move into the CTC business. Just kind of generally speaking, we are going pretty much by the Athens-Clarke County COVID, protocols for this. So, everything's going to be kind of dynamic right now as we adjust and things fluctuate. So, kind of moving in through the end of the year and into next year, Jesse will kind of take these responsibilities as well. But just kind of a general kind of open discussion, I think for now, we've, as a council, resolved, there's a voting item last month to just go by the protocols and continue via WebEx for meetings. Rodney, has anything changed with the county response protocols, etc., regarding meetings?
It has not, other than, just word has gotten around that indoor mask policies are being enforced.
I guess, being as we're kind of a collective group of people, and I thought I'd open the floor. Does anybody have any comments or anything, questions, concerns regarding these meetings? Does everybody feel okay, with how we're meeting right now with WebEx? Does that seem to be working for everybody?
It's
Yeah,
definitely more convenient for me, but I miss seeing people in person.
I mean, I like to see people in person, but I prefer not to really go to in-person meetings right now for anything that I'm involved with. So Zoom or WebEx is about the only way I can do it right now.
Yeah, I agree. Hate to put anybody in unnecessary danger for any reason. So this model seems to be working well. Everybody's got a good connection. So I guess for now, we will just continue and monitor the protocols and the CDC guidelines and all the above, and just continue on. So again, yeah, I appreciate everybody's adaptability on this, and we'll just keep on. that's it. So I think we're doing fine. So I guess kind of a discussion item, final note with kind of tied to that is if the committees, I know we talked about, we kind of were running out of time, but if the committees want to let Rodney know how they want to meet, just get Rodney something, an email or a quick note or something like that to let him know how y'all plan to meet and if we need to work on setting up block time for the third Mondays or not. And we can certainly accommodate that too. Let's see here. Is there any other discussion on the committee meetings and work group meetings? Any of the chairs or group leaders have anything to add? Okay. But yeah. So just Rodney, what do you need a deadline on that information? Have you received anything from work group leaders or committee chairs?
No, I think people were probably waiting for this meeting, for this discussion. The main thing is just to reduce the amount of time that it's going to take. I would request that you try to meet at the same time and same place each month, because then it can be put on the calendar. It can kind of be automated to some degree. I can host a WebEx meeting Monday through Friday. Well, actually, I can host it from my cell phone, so I can host it just about any time. So that's fine.
And I guess for now, since we're in this weird kind of flux, it's okay for you guys to talk via email to come up with how you want to meet. It's kind of that weird catch-22. You can't meet in person to discuss, but you need to meet to talk about how you're going to meet.
I think the technical way to kind of frame that would be that the chairs decide when and where they will meet. And how you do that is up to you.
I like it. I like it. Any questions or anything? Okay. Good deal. Okay. Pretty quick through here. Exec committee. I didn't have anything for the exec committee. Jesse on here? May still be on vacation. Sean, do you know, is Jesse still gone?
Yeah, she hasn't been in the office today.
Okay. Pam, Rodney, any other exec committee that we haven't really discussed anything separately?
I guess, this thought about the committee meetings just kind of keeps coming back around to me. Like, really, an ideal way to do that would be to write your notes, your committee meeting agenda on one side. You don't have to share it with me or the rest of the tree council. And then when you have your meeting, just take some notes on the other side of the page and email it to me. And then I will record it. And in doing so, we will meet our obligations for recording minutes.
Yeah, I think that sounds perfect.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else.
Same thing with the steering committee. I didn't have anything for that. But it sounds like we do have a few things to talk about with the new member interview work group. Sean, I guess I'll let you take this one away and have the floor.
Sure, thanks. So we had some great candidates come through, and the last question was posed by the most recent dialogue we had was one on the part of Pam. Pam, you mentioned you didn't see it on the most recent agenda.
I looked at the agenda for the commission that they put out. Carol Myers submits it when she sends out her newsletter to the neighborhood. And I saw there were several items listed on there for approval for like Keep Athens, Clarke County Beautiful nominations, but I did not see one for our people. I don't know if they got subsumed under that somehow because I didn't listen to the minute in the meeting, or if their agenda was too long and they just didn't put it on.
It has not been sent to the mayor and commission. We can't forward the names until the tree council actually votes on the accepted nominees.
That would explain it.
Got it. Okay, so just a brief review of who we recommend. One would be Sarah Grizzle and Yvette Walcott. They'll be serving their full 3-year term. There's also Lauren Ward. She'll be serving a 1-year term, who will fulfill Edith's role. We hate to see you go. She's given us an announcement that she's going to be moving off the board at the close of the year, right? So, well, we hate to see you go. We appreciate her.
So since it hasn't been voted on by the council yet, they're probably not gonna be able to start in January. Is that correct, Rodney? You're muted.
Rodney, you're on mute.
Thank you. I don't know, Pam. As soon as the tree council votes, I will send that list to Gene Spratlin at the mayor and commissioner's office and see if and just ask if there's a way that can be put on the November agenda. I don't know if it'll be able to or not. I have a sneaking suspicion it may not, but we'll make a try for it.
Yeah, Phil.
Thanks.
You're on mute too, Phil.
It would be great to keep from staggering these terms and their entry dates any more than necessary. If we could, even in waiting for the official action by the commission, if we could put them into a provisional status or something and at least get them to the meetings, to the Zoom meetings, and so they can begin to get up to speed. We need folks on the ground that know what's going on as soon as possible, it seems to me. And this may not be the appropriate time, and if not, that's okay. But I'm curious, not my fault for not being on the new member interview work group, I suppose, but can anybody give me just a 1-sentence description of each of these candidates and some kind of information as to what their vocation, avocation, that sort of information is?
Sure thing. So I'm going to have to rely on someone else's account from Yvette. But Sarah Grizzle, she has a background in the film industry. I think specifically like documentary, documentarian, and I don't remember exactly what she's doing in Athens, maybe like Piedmont College or something. I can't remember for sure.
No, I think she was teaching at another college remotely.
Was it? Okay. Okay. Lauren Ward, she has a background in landscape architecture, I believe, and is a gardener currently. Guys, how about Yvette?
She's a chemist. She's
An analytical
she's African
chemist.
American, and she's fairly new to the community, but she really is looking for a place to get involved and is interested in trees. She came up with some ideas about maybe doing a bike tour where we take a bike tour around to some of the different champion trees in the area as a fundraising effort or something like that. So she's got some good ideas already.
I think she's a soils chemist.
Oh, cool.
That
Which-
might be.
Which one was she?
Yvette?
Okay, thank you.
The champion tree hunting team can steer towards ones that are easy to bike to versus the ones you have to tromp through to find.
And just to follow up on Phil's comment, I will make it a note that once the tree council votes on the nominees, to put them on the listserv, so they will be invited to meetings.
I think that's how we've traditionally done it too. You know, these are open meetings, so there's no restriction on them not attending. I think it's more just that they're not fully able to vote on items until they're officially members. But Phil, that's a great idea. You know, kind of get them warmed up and ready to, you know, jump in as soon as they're able to.
So I guess we need to put this up for a vote. Is that correct? And do we have to do it each individually, or?
No, I can just frame it with a compound sentence. A motion to approve Sarah Grizzle and Lauren Stubbs. See, let me get this right. Motion to approve Sarah Grizzle and Yvette Wilcox for a 3-year term as a nominee, and Lauren Ward is a nominee for a 1-year term.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Well, the CTC looks like we got 3 new members. Good job, everybody.
Thank you to the interview work group for working on that.
Yeah, we had a bunch of candidates. A couple pulled out at before the interview stage, but that's good to have so much interest.
Yeah.
It was a hard decision.
Yeah. So I'll send out follow-up emails, and Rodney, I'll catch up with you about the ETA on induction or whatever. Thank you.
And I was wondering if this would be also the time to talk about Lee's membership status.
Probably so, yes.
I don't think Lee is still with us, so just to let everybody know what's going on. There she is. Lee, we were just started talking about your membership status. Could you let the council know what's going on with that?
Oh, Lee, you may still be muted. Is she muted, Rodney?
Yes, I was muted. Yes, I found the mute button on my end.
Okay.
In my position as community forester with the Forestry Commission, I can't sit on the Athens Tree Council as an individual member anymore. I need to convert into an ex officio status, and my status is tied to that position.
Well, congratulations on the new position. That's awesome.
So I
Yes.
guess we need to replace you then.
So
yes, I believe that we did.
Okay, is that one of the 3?
I think it was supposed
Okay,
to.
good.
Yeah, I know we talked about that. Yeah.
Good, I have lost track.
Is that the position that Seth held for a long time?
Yes, it is Seth's old position. It's his desk. It's his office. Yes, not his uniform, but yes, it's his stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, we expect you to be equally as active and supportive of the CTC as Seth was during his time here. So we expect great things. Thank you, Lee.
Okay, I'll do what I can. But you know, I'm going to tree board. I have 39 counties in my territory, and I'm going to tree boards everywhere, tree board meetings everywhere. It's been really interesting to see how other tree boards conduct their meetings. It's really educational.
How do we stack up so far? your
We
experience?
we are professional. I mean, Rodney keeps us running, right, focused and on track, and we keep the time, and we have committees, and we're very organized. We're up there with Macon. Macon is also very excellent. But there are some that are so small and so casual that it's just one person going, so we want to do this thing in the spring? Yeah, you think? Okay, yeah, let's plan this. And there's no motions, there's no formality, there's no, I don't even know if they're keeping minutes. I don't know. But
Do they have any openings?
They range. Do they have what?
Do they have any openings?
Phil, don't you think about it.
Phil, we've discussed that you can't change communities at this late stage of the game.
Well, I do have my eye on beautiful places to retire in Northeast Georgia. I've been all over this area and seen some good stuff, but it's not what we're talking about.
That's cool. So Rodney, do we need to vote to change her, or is it just something that we can, she submits and that's that, or how does that work for somebody to change to ex officio? I think we have maybe 2 members that we.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and make a motion and vote to change her status from a voting member to an ex officio based on the requirements of her new position.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? I guess Rodney, maybe do you want to read that motion?
Yes, so we just voted to change Lee's member status from that of a voting member to that of an ex officio member based on the requirements of her new position at the Georgia Forestry Commission.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done so far, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next. It's exciting.
All right.
I guess, Edith, we don't need to put you on the spot. Have you thought any more about whether you want to fully transition off completely or to transition more to a ex officio status as well? Really, the difference is the voting ability and kind of the maybe the commitment is a little bit less, but
I think what would work best for all of us would be if I just help to transition in the next 3 months with the new members. And I'd like to help with special events, but I may not be attending the meetings. We plan to travel more and get out more. If 2022 is not like 2021.
Yeah.
fantastic. That's awesome.
I don't know if I answered the question.
I guess really it's your choice if you wanted to become ex officio or not is really kind of what it boils down to. Kind of as
I know that she'd be called ex officio because she'd just be one of the general populace at that point, and she could still be at all the meetings that she wanted to. But I don't know that we would call her ex officio because, like, Lee has another position as a community forester, so there's more of an official reason for her to be on the tree council, where for Edith, it's just because she loves us so much.
that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a limit on the number of ex officio members you can have?
I don't think so,
no
but I just
limit, but based on the definition of what is ex officio, it's basically professionals that would, government or forestry or arboriculture professionals that would support the tree council. It's really more of an official designation rather than a
functional.
Yeah, exactly.
Than honorary. Yeah.
Yep.
This is Stacy. I wanted to say 2 years ago, We had other Larry Morris was our ex officio from the forestry division. I don't know if anybody that is on the commission right now remembers that, but so we did always have an ex officio from the Forest Service.
So I think probably what would be best is if I just transition off and not become ex officio, because I think that does seem to be reserved for more officials or professionals. But thank you for suggesting that.
Of course, yeah. And you're always welcome. These are open meetings, and we all love to see your face. So please don't feel like not being a member excludes you in any way. So.
Would I be able to remain on the listserv for WebEx until at least March?
Sure.
Absolutely. I'll keep you on the listserv forever.
Okay.
Well, Sean, is there any other new business or action or voting items for the new member interview work group?
So the only thing I believe I missed is there will be, with Edith transitioning out and Lauren coming in, this will be a 1-year arrangement, and so another position will be open in January of 2020. That's going to be right around the corner. That's all I have.
I think we've done some partial terms in the past by when we've filled vacancies, and particularly in this case with only a 1-year occupation of that term by Lauren. Early on, we need to begin working her or encouraging her to put herself in for the next 3-year term as well, so that we get kind of back on schedule and we have someone who has some continuity of experience in the council.
I guess that kind of begs the question, can she take Edith's term starting 2022 for a full 3-year term? Or did you intend to have her sort of as a 1-year term only?
No, I think the intent was to, because we had a 1-year term, was to offer it to her and say that she'd be invited to go up for a full 3-year term after that. We just don't have it set that way. So definitely would want to have her for more than just that 1 year.
I have to present it to the mayor and commission as specific terms, and there's two positions to fill for the full 3-year term, and then there'll be the 1-year term, and then after that it can cycle into a 3-year term. It's
Mine
just the
was
way I've been
supposed to
asked.
be a 1 or 2-year term, and then somehow it morphed into a 3-year. I don't know how that happened.
I think that's my fault, Edith. I think I can
Okay.
conveniently, well, actually it's when I was working with Jean Spratlin and she sent it back to me and I was like, and I just slipped it in there, and I apologize.
Okay.
Jean Spratlin's very specific on the way she wants stuff.
So when Edith transitions out, will we have another 3-year term available? Is that what we're saying?
Yes. Actually, at the end of 2022, all 5 positions technically either need to be renewed or replaced, right? So there's 5 terms expiring in 2022, and it looks
Yeah,
like
I'm one of them.
Pam is one of them. So it's Pam, Phil, Mary, and Holly. Their terms will expire at the end of 2022.
Which Mary?
Mary Songster.
Okay.
So we have staggered terms, five, the way the plan, the way that it's organized, five positions expire each year over a 3-year period.
Every 3 years, it's only 4 positions that expire because
Okay.
because I'm a permanent member, so that accounts for
I
that.
got you. Right.
Well, so does the interview group have another candidate that was strong that y'all feel, or I guess y'all don't need to answer that right away, but maybe consider kind of as Edith transitions out. Am I doing that correctly? There will be another person to.
No, I think Edith, I think the third person we took was the Edith replacement.
Was Edith? Okay. Okay.
We were anticipating that.
Okay. Fantastic.
Hey, Rodney, are you a voting member?
Unmute.
Hey, Rodney, I think you're on mute.
Muted.
Yes, Stacy, I am a voting member, and that's designated by the ordinance.
Okay, yeah, I know sometimes that's a little tricky with staff. I was just curious.
I actually asked Gene Spratlin about that, and the ordinance overrides some of the other rules that the county has about that.
But you do abstain if you feel like it could be a contradiction.
Yes, I
Typically,
abstained
it's not an
in the
issue.
vote that we had last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's like, it can get confusing. I know, like on my own board, I'm not a voting member for that very reason. So that's kind of why I was asking, but it does get kind of confusing in terms of how many board members you can have, right? If you're considered a voting board member, then you're one of the, say, 20 that you can have because you can vote, whereas I'm not really because I can't vote. So there can be room for confusion. And so that's why I was just asking.
It's a great question, and I appreciate it. There's a lot of nuance, and with the new rules, the booklet they put out, like there is some conflicts in the way the tree council operates as compared to the way some of the other committees operate. And I did follow up with that. So any questions you have about any of that, I'm able to answer your questions about it.
Well, Rodney, I actually like to ask for forgiveness. So I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear what you just said.
Is that something we should clean up, like in the executive committee, or is that something that gets cleaned up by mayor and commission, or if for alignment, or just
That
planning?
is something, so the current rule book was consulted through the attorney's office, and the mayor and commissioner's office headed up that project. And when I talked with Gene, that was before all the COVID stuff hit in real hard. They said they would be working on that, but she admitted it was going to be a long-term process. And then she explained to me that the tree ordinance, the county ordinance overrides, since it has the impact of law itself, it overrides the rule book that they published on it. So short answer is the mayor and commissioner's office would be the one to address those questions.
Okay.
I guess any one of us really has the authority or right to abstain from a vote for any, if there's personal interest, conflict, whatever.
Not only authority, but obligation. And the rule book talks about that.
Remember, I actually abstained from a vote my very first meeting as a member, because the vote was on a set of plans that my firm had done.
Yeah.
We all do it. We all are able to. So. Well, I think that clears everything up. I think Things sound pretty clear in terms of the our new, roster going forward. So, Sean, do you have anything else? Did we lose Sean? Sean, are you on mute? We might have lost Sean. That's okay. We'll go ahead and move into, let's see, Phil, do you have anything for the Trees for Tomorrow work group?
Nothing that pertains specifically to the work group, but this might be the time to just mention, I don't want it to be a drawn out discussion, but just to mention the Trees for Tomorrow seedlings that we've been hanging on to and doling out. Just an update on that. We now are down to somewhere between 4 to 6 trees that remain unspoken for. So that's just a point of information.
That's good, right?
Yeah, great.
And that accounts for the one we're putting in the Larry Morris Memorial Grove.
I recently tallied them all up, and those 4 to 6 are the ones that remain unspoken for. And yes, I've accounted for the tree for the Larry's Memorial, for the ones for the sustainability office, and so forth.
Phil, I wondered, in the email, the discussion I had with the land trust about like that they be interested in beginning a dialogue about starting a program with them. We had talked about, having the young urban farmers, work with trees and set up some kind of program. Is that something that would be housed in Trees for Tomorrow, or do you feel comfortable with that, or is that something you feel like should be in a different place on the committee? And again, we're just starting this, so it's not something that's going to dump right away. It'll take a while to get there.
Well, once again, it's questionable as to how you would interpret that, but to my way of thinking, while there certainly could be cross sharing of membership between a committee that would deal with that and the Trees for Tomorrow work group, I would say that it more appropriately would fit in either the education committee or some hybrid of education and fundraising. But that's just a guess on my part. I think that's something that we as a full council would need to deal with at some point before, and then we can decide where it might best be located.
Well, no work has been done on it, and everybody's very positive at this point. So when we start working, we'll see where it falls out.
It sounds like a wonderful idea. I think
it'll work. It's going to take some planning.
I think the educational outreach opportunities are fantastic for that.
Yeah.
And the fringe benefit, as I said, would be a fundraiser, maybe for us and for that group, maybe a shared fundraiser.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect answer. But yeah, Mary, let us know how that develops, because it's definitely something we should be involved in. Definitely. Phil, is I guess pretty much wrap it up for you. Any other
I have nothing else. Thank you.
Okay. We will move to the grants and fundraising work group. So Edith, we'll let you take it away. Oh, you're on mute.
Mary had a communication with, I think it was education. about some of their land or some of their planning opportunities. Is she here? I'm on my phone, so I can't see who the members
She's
are.
driving back from Tennessee right now.
She
Okay.
just sent an email, so she's just back, but she's not, she's probably unpacking.
Okay, but it's some land that would be available for planting. It sounds like we're needing more of that for grant opportunities and just needed the funds for it. So just wanted to do an update on what's coming up pretty soon. Georgia Power has a foundation board that meets in December, and their focus seemed to be water quality improvement. We really haven't done anything with stormwater, and I don't know that we've had much interest on their part. The other was Southern Company, and this kind of dovetails with what you were saying, Mary. The botanical garden had gotten a grant from them and used excuse me, used some youth from Atlanta as part of their grant to help reforest some of the floodplain. Their focus is longleaf, and I think we'd have the question about how well it would do in our present climate.
Edith, I haven't looked it over carefully enough, obviously, but the Georgia Power one, and you say water quality, and you also mentioned stormwater. Do they
Yes.
specifically mention planning like around stormwater stuff, or is it for absorption of water so that it doesn't? I mean, the stormwater rules and how that has to be is very specific and usually doesn't include trees. I think Patrick could probably explain it better than I with that.
Okay.
But they're not talking about plantings within the areas that are required for storm water retention. It's something to do with mitigating runoff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it would need further exploration to see if that was viable.
Hmm.
So not necessarily like dedicated stormwater infrastructure, but just generally how we can reduce runoff, things like that.
Yes.
Improve water quality through plant. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And with the Southern Company, if anyone's interested in adopting that one, they have an applicant webinar in December. The full proposal's due in February. They have given to the Chattahoochee Nature Center and to the Botanical Garden. Both of those got grants. So, that one might be worth pursuing more so than the Georgia Power.
Edith, was that the Atlanta Botanical Garden or the State Botanical Garden here?
Ours.
Ours.
The one here. Yeah.
Thank you.
They have somewhere they have on one of the trails, they have a sign posted about it too. And then the Synovus application had gone in last month, and we're supposed to get some feedback from them in November and then find out in January if we actually got the money.
Fantastic. And was that for a dedicated amount, or was that an award that they determined?
It was, let me see, I'm doing this from memory, which is not a good thing, but I think it was for something like 8,600 and some change.
Great. Yeah, that'll plant some trees. Okay, that's awesome.
Maintaining was also built into the language, just,
It did, yeah. We avoided saying for 3 years because they didn't want an ongoing project. They just wanted it for that specific year. So we just said maintenance until until the root system's established.
That's great. It's you've done awesome. plenty to work with.
We don't have any money yet, though.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
We still have some of the Carl Jordan stuff. Does that have to be on the trail? Guess it
It
probably
does.
does.
How much do we have left on the Carl Jordan? Does anybody know?
There's about $10,000 on it, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And it was intended for the entryway to the trail, but because of the way the projects went up there, it keeps getting kicked down the line. So, but it does have to be allocated for the Carl Jordan Trail, or the Firefly Trail, for the Carl Jordan Grove.
Locating where we're going to put those may become more and more problematic, but again, no matter how long it takes, that's what that money is earmarked for and what it will be ultimately used for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as long as we can. Is the ACC arborist here today? Eric, are you here? No. It'll probably, involve us staying in their ear saying, don't forget about us, and we can give you $10,000 worth of trees somewhere, and just being that annoying thorn in their side till they give us somewhere to put them. But that would be for Jesse, who's president next year, that'd be a good goal for both either Trees for Tomorrow and maybe the president-elect to, spend the rest of that money, get the rest of those trees in the ground in 2022. Just kind of be done with it. That's been a cloud over our head for a long time. So
we had certainly hoped to do it this past year with just a jam up job on that intersection at Old Winterville and the Lexington Highway, but DOT and everybody seems to have just sort of ground to a halt on what they're doing with that corner, and that's our last big unplanted spot on that right of way. As the trail continues from there toward Winterville, my understanding is that the width of the right of way, because of all the private land holdings on either side, is going to be considerably more narrow and will afford far fewer planting opportunities, probably, unless we're able to somehow get approval to work in partnership with private landholders on either side and maybe straddle the line or get into their property slightly with tree planting.
go ahead, Rodney.
That's a good idea, Phil. It might require some pretty high level conversations about partnering with private landowners, but I like that idea. The primary partners that the tree council needs to work with would be landscape management and leisure services. Landscape management has responsibility for 20 feet from the right of way. Leisure services has responsibility for everything else. There may be a couple spots where there's some adjacent county property that's likely under the jurisdiction of leisure services. So, but that also would probably require a little bit of research.
Do you guys on a regular basis coordinate the plantings that you're developing or that you're working on?
So I'm always involved in the plan reviews for county-owned properties. The plans are usually initiated by leisure services, at least for the trailway systems. The contracting entity or the owner is SPLOST, and it's kind of a partnership. It's really a partnership between leisure services, SPLOST, landscape management, and other county
if it's a leisure services SPLOS project, then they are the oversight committee. So that, I mean, that's a kind of an overlap of leisure services and their SPLOS committee that
Yes,
oversees the
except for
funds.
the areas that are the landscape management's responsibility. So
Got it.
landscape management is also involved in those conversations. My sense is that there's opportunities for the entryways along, crossroads. And there could be other opportunities as well. It take a little bit of digging into the parcel maps to see who owns what, and certainly would require a conversation with Todd over at Leisure Services.
Not to belabor the point, but there probably are a few spots where we could go back in and plant additionally near some of the places where we have planted along the trail already. We could assess that over time, but it would be a tree here and a tree there sort of situation, which doesn't really take care of the problem of getting this money used and put in the ground and off the books in a short period of time, I don't think.
There also might be an opportunity where it cuts through Dudley Park. That'd be worth considering.
True, with the new access or enter the bridge and so forth there, that might be something to look at once that is wound up.
Good point.
I can't ever let go the opportunity when we have this kind of conversation. I wish Jesse was here so we could to talk about dog parks, but and the planting of trees. But I would like to point out that the Athens-Clarke Dog Park, though they gave multiple reasons why it couldn't be done, I see that they are in the process of putting up one, if not two, shade shelters out in those actual dog parks now, the enclosure, out in the enclosure. So maybe the ice is broken and they might even entertain the notion of a tree out there next to one of those now. I don't know.
It
We'll
would
see.
be worth the ask. Absolutely would be worth asking about it. And so anything inside the dog park is leisure services. And landscape management can help facilitate plantings on the outside of the fence.
Right.
Phil, we are getting another soil scientist here soon, so maybe they'll be spearheading the dog park project.
Is it a dog-loving soil scientist?
It must be, I hope. We'll find out.
Almost certainly. Okay. I'm done.
Right. Thank you, Phil. Let's see here. All right, Sean, you're up next. We got the Larry Morris Memorial Planting Work Group. Looks like you got a few little updates.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Stacy's on here or not, but she may chime in a second. There was a question of whether we were going to be in violation of the stream buffer or not. But I met with Stacy and some other ACC staff members, and they've determined that we're A-okay on both the planting location and how we plan to get the material there. And specifically, that would be we're going to volunteer the use of our equipment we use day to day on our tree jobs in the form of a mini skid steer, and it's a light footprint, very low impact, and they're cool with that approach. Basically, yeah. So it's not an issue, thankfully. And the next steps, I need to finalize the application with Stacy. There were some omissions in there, and make sure that's a go. And I think way back when, We spoke of a sketch, a planting plan, to come up with, and from that we base our selection. Like I know there's been mention of a tree that owns itself, sapling. We want to put that one of those in there, of course, but I think some thought should be consideration on what the other trees are needs to take place. So and also, and I should mention that the group that came together was there was some uncertainty, I think, of the Adopt Athens process, I think, and they're sort of coming together and revising that. That was also part of the meeting out there as well. I'm not sure, once again, if Stacy's still on here or not.
Yeah, I'm here. And Sean, I was multitasking. I was actually just emailing you back. Because I do think at this point, I think everything is kind of good to go. I think Stephen Bailey just has to sign off on it. And he was kind of the one who wanted to call that meeting because he's kind of newer to that position and wanted to really understand what Adopt Athens was, particularly when it impacted his department. And so I think it was a great meeting because it got a lot of folks in one place to talk about some plantings and some trees and talk about Larry, which was sweet. So I think that Sean, we can connect, tomorrow or something, but I think for the most part, it's just a matter of making sure the variety, like what is being planted, if everyone was okay with that, and then having Stephen sign off on it. His signature is needed.
Got it. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so I guess the next step officially would be, come up with a sketch, right, and a planting list, I suppose, and then from that, we resubmit it and finalize the application, I guess. Joe and Patrick, you guys have any thoughts on how we process the sketch or the planting plan?
Yeah. Patrick, I don't know how you feel, but I mean, it's something we can just grab a aerial photo of and scale it in CAD. We can just, I mean, we're planting 3 trees, is that right?
Yeah, if
We've
we're
got
planting 3 trees, yeah, I can do a quick sketch in CAD or something. Just let me know where you want to put them, and we can just do a quick little plan. I could probably do something, if it's just a really aerial photo with the overlay on, just showing the locations.
I think that's all we need. Yeah.
Would it be too wild if we, introduced a couple of understory shrubs or something as well? Would that complicate?
No, it wouldn't be difficult. Yeah.
It'd be a nice complementary addition to it.
Sure.
And guys, I've already forgotten. Like, did we commit to how many 3 years or 5 years of maintenance to this? I can't remember.
You're talking about the maintenance,
Like the Adopt Athens process. Can't remember what we came to. Figure that out in minutes. But does anybody remember
My
if it was
understanding is it is 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
So, when do you need the sketch by? Are they waiting on that for approval?
I don't think they're have a deadline for us. I think it's probably. I think what we really need to focus on is like plant before spring, right? Like, ideally, we'd still work within that. What, February, late February deadline? I would say. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, whenever you want to get them in the ground, I think we can mobilize pretty quickly. It's 3 trees, maybe a couple shrubs, it sounds like. So nothing real crazy. We've knocked stuff like that out in an hour before. So whatever
Yeah,
you want to do.
I thought I would, Sean, probably I was just kind of thinking the sooner the better, just because it's fresh on everybody in that department's mind, which I think is great. We don't want to like kind of lose the knowledge of the stream buffer and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just important to go for it. The other thing for the folks that were not at the meeting is that, there was a little bit of concern about making sure that whatever was planted was not something that needed to be maintained necessarily. I don't know if you want to expand on that at all, Sean, but that was kind of something that folks were just a little bit, they're all about trees, but definitely just concerned about the long-term sustainability of, the space and who is going to maintain it and all that jazz. So when you guys are deciding, which variety of tree you'd like to plant or some sort of perennial, it just needs to be something that is low maintenance.
Sure thing.
As far as tree selection, I know we had a white oak, the tree that owns itself. We had a cherry bark oak, which is kind of a lowland oak species as well. It does well wet, kind of that particular kind of environment. And I forget what Holly said she had. Does anybody remember what Holly was going to donate?
A swamp chestnut oak.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, all pretty low maintenance, pretty well adapted to that site.
And then if you want to throw in a few understory plants, as far as low maintenance and ease of continuity, I just recommend privet and you'll be all set.
Right. Thank you.
Oh my God.
So,
that was awesome.
right out of my mouth.
Thank you.
You can just come and get it out of my backyard.
And deer protection fencing may not be a bad idea either. Probably get munched on being new sapling kind of deer level height. So, some simple kind of hog wire fencing, we'll work that in as well.
That would be easy enough. We've got some, I have some wire here that we used for some of the plantings in the past, and a few posts that would work as a temporary protection that could be taken down fairly easily as the trees gained in height.
I have a laminator, so if we wanted to laminate like an 8.5 by 11 little thing, we can attach it to that fencing to say that that's what these trees are. And it's temporary, it'd last a year or so, but you could have that. I'd be happy to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
so
Sean, we should probably write that in the plan too, just so that they know that we may put up that temporary fencing. So we should probably write that in there.
okay, got it. And so back to Stacy's mention of urgency. I think that's a great point. What's a realistic time frame for you guys, Patrick and Joe, to come up with something? Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not real. It's taking an aerial, throw it in CAD and scale it and throw a block frame around it if we want to get fancy. It's it would take anybody that's proficient with this an hour.
Yeah.
I personally don't have AutoCAD anymore. But Patrick, if you've got it and feel like we're talking probably like a quick exhibit.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to. I was sitting over an aerial photograph right now, Sean. I'll email you. But yeah, but you tell me where we want these trees at. On the aerial, it's going to be. There it's showing completely forested out there right now. So I don't know. It may look like we're putting trees underneath other trees. And is a sketch absolutely necessary, or is this something we're just doing just to just to help us? I mean, have you kind of field locate some locations for the trees? Do we even need a plan to put them out there? Is that something Clark County requires for approval?
No,
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's a good,
so
that's
you
a good
don't,
question, but go ahead.
so, yeah, you don't, sorry, Sean, you guys don't need to do an AutoCAD drawing. That's not necessary. In the application, it's really just kind of a written description. If you want to add a, sketch, just a easy sketch, you can, but you're right, it is a forested area. And so, I don't think you guys need to put that kind of work into it. It just needs to have a good verbal description. And then, because Sean, you went out there with Barbara and you guys kind of checked all the stream buffer stuff. I mean, they're very well aware, and Barbara's really on top of it, I feel like. So she'll let us know if she needs more detail.
Okay.
So then we have the white oak, and Holly's going to donate the swamp chestnut. And do we have a source for the cherry bark oak? Is that what it's called?
That's right. It's in my backyard.
And I don't know if we've decided this, but I've previously reached out to Select Trees, and they were happy to donate any tree they have. I know I passed information along. I don't know if that's just they have too big of trees or not, but that's still an option out there for a tree from them.
Generally, like the capacity of our machine is about 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like some of the select trees are on the upper end, right? Like
They're a lot bigger. Yeah, they're the 2-inch plus calipers.
yeah. Got it.
Any chance that we could get these trees in the ground by, say, early December? I agree with Stacy that if we've gotten a number of people to check off on this thing, striking while the iron is hot seems like would be a good idea. And if we roll over to the new year, who knows?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm fine in pushing that.
It could be our CTC planting party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could certainly do that.
As far as any kind of formal dedication, I don't know if there was one being planned, but that wouldn't necessarily need to be done. In fact, it would probably better be scheduled after the initial planning and things had sort of settled down, perhaps anyway. I'm open to suggestion about that, though.
Yeah, I think the dedication's probably a good idea. Could be something really simple. We can invite Larry's wife. She's actually got something in early December at Flincham's Phoenix, doesn't she?
That's November 13th.
November, okay.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. She did send like an invite out, and I'll forward that to everybody here.
I wanted to say something about the invitation for that event. I think Larry's wife Sue is really open to hearing about folks who want to join, but it's an RSVP because they're doing a dinner, and so it's not. I don't think it's just or that was my impression. Maybe I'm off on that, Sean. But the invitation I got was a dinner thing, and so she may need a head count as opposed to folks just showing up.
Okay. I honestly didn't look that close. I just saw it come in my inbox. So okay. Got it.
So are we thinking
and forward it nonetheless. Okay. Well, Joe and Patrick, I'll follow up with you guys about just I guess a hand drawn sketch, right? Something informal. And simple.
We're just thinking about putting these in that open area towards on the left when you go in, that first quarter mile, eighth of a mile, whatever it is.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could pull that up on Google Earth and it shows where the trailhead is and you can see the trail and the clearing. So it'd be easy to just drop some dots or something. Super simple. I could do it on my iPad right now if you want, but
I actually think I might have. I think early on, I came up with something so that yeah. Right. Okay.
yeah, we could come up with something
Well, I
quick
think
and dirty and just let us know when you think you want to do that planting, and you know we can all. At least some of us will be available, if not all, to come and mobilize and help get them in the ground.
Does your insurance cover me using the skid steer? That would be fun.
it may not be as fun as you think. You know, like this is not the sit-in machine, but we're taking applications, by the way, so feel free to. So okay, Phil, I like your idea about early December, or was that yours, Joe? I can't remember, but yeah, let's get moving on it, and I'll follow up with you guys.
You know, scheduling when you have your equipment available to do it may be the linchpin for making the decision about it. As Joe was saying, we don't need everybody there, but just about any time we can get a few people there probably. And this is a pretty small job compared to some of the things that we've taken on as far as time.
It would have to, on that note, it would have to be on a Saturday or a weekend in general for
that's probably best for most people anyway. So
yeah. Well, that sounds good. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's keep that rolling. Sean, let us know what you need, and we'll plan for sometime in December to do that.
Got it.
Well, we've got one discussion item left. So looks like promotions and policy did not have anything to discuss. So I'm going to jump right into Education Committee. Edith had a request for a discussion item. So Edith, if you want to take the floor, it's all yours.
I have bunches of requests. Just an update. We've, as of last Thursday, we have 5 registrants already. We've sent advertising blurbs out to the flagpole. There's something on Nextdoor, the 5 Points listserv, and the Master Gardener listserv. And so I think all of you got the promotional blurb I sent out yesterday, asking if you're on any social media accounts or listservs to please post that, send it along. Because I think word of mouth is going to help probably more than anything. So I met last Thursday with Kate Mowbray, who's their naturalist. The staff out there have been wonderful. She and Randy.
Yeah.
They're going to do the entire setup for us. I guess you'd call it the infrastructure. They'll put up the tent, maybe 2 tents, depending on the registration numbers. So if we had low registration, we'll probably just do 2 tables. We'll have the check-in divided so that people can socially distance, and also just to speed things along. She indicated that the restrictions could be relaxed by then, but we're still planning on, small groups with no more than 10 people in a group. We will need, now we're going to be set up in the overflow parking lot. So we'll probably need 2 volunteers for the registration tables. We'll need someone to help with getting the banners set up, excuse me, and maybe a person to help direct traffic. And I wanted to ask your about what you think about this, having an Ask the Forester table. Would anyone
that's a
want
great idea.
would anyone want to be the victim?
A dunk tank.
Yeah. And
I
do
can
you
do it,
think that,
Edith, this
that
is Lee. I can do it.
great. We could set you up with, I want to show off my, I bet everyone knows what this is, but, you know, it's a pie slice from a box elder. So I've got a couple of interesting artifacts. My friends think I'm weird because I have stuff like this in my house, but
I do too.
yeah, okay. Makes me feel better. But you know, we could possibly have a table like that. We did need someone that could bring an ice cooler and some ice. We've got the water and the snacks handled. Oh, and Sean, I wanted to ask you, had you been able to send the information into WUGA yet?
So I actually, I just emailed you a little bit ago asking if you had already. So if you haven't,
No,
I'll take care of that.
I didn't yet. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great if you could do that.
Sure, will do.
So they're going to start setting up at 8:30, and I'll probably get there about 8:30, and I would need the volunteers to probably come about 9 to help, and just you know, I think we'll probably have some last minute things just to sort out. I
Edith,
did add, yes.
do you want to send out an email to all of us listing the needs that you have for people and for equipment and that sort of thing, that we can respond to, say, reply to all and see if we can take care of that for you?
Yes, I'll
That's a
definitely
good
do
plan.
that.
That's a good plan.
Also with, excuse me, with the door prizes, we'll need, Phil generously committed one of the tree that owns itself saplings. But it would be helpful if we had some, you know, if anyone else has trees out there, that'd be very helpful.
Edith, I can
Um,
offer this. I don't know if you can see this. It is an acorn vase.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
It's adorable. And so if you want an adorable acorn vase, I can absolutely add that to the I can drop it off at your house or wherever.
Yeah. Anything tree related, you know, books or
books.
Just anything remotely related. And Patrick, I think you'd asked about, you know, plants or shrubs. I think that'd be fine too. You know, ideally we'd be using native species, but, you know, in reality, I think folks would be happy to get a, maybe a rosemary bush or something. You know, probably the more prizes, the better. And Rodney, I was just going to email you about later in the week about the best time to pick up the educational materials and the banners. So,
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, just set up a time with me and we'll get you set up.
yeah. I did ask Kate about, you know, I said, is there anything I don't know to ask about, since she does regular events out there all the time? And she said bathroom breaks. So it might be a good idea. You know, I'm kind of thinking folks will kind of like stagger in for the registration, and the first folks would be directed to a guide that can go ahead and take them. She said just walk them past the bathroom and maybe give people 5 or 10 minutes. She didn't want all the groups congregating there at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is Holly. We can do that, Edith. I can let the guides know.
Yeah. Because folks will be out there for what, 2 hours probably?
Well, you're talking about the amount of groups?
About the duration of the
yeah, it'll be about that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Probably not more than that.
Okay. Just to make sure everyone's comfortable. And
Yeah.
several days before, I'll send out an email to the registrants. Either I or Kate will do that. Just reminding them about to bring a water bottle, wear comfortable shoes. We don't know what the mask mandates will be then. I mean, we can recommend that they wear a mask. I know right now the mandate doesn't, I don't think it mentions outside, as long as people socially distance. But just as, you know, if people register early, they might forget. So we'll just help them remember and give them further instructions for check-in.
Hey, Edith, Zerny,
Yes.
will you be sending, or will we receive a flyer? I think Holly or someone volunteered to make a flyer. Will that?
Yeah. I sent some information by email, but it wasn't very, I mean, it was the basic information. And Holly was volunteering to make a flyer,
Great.
which would be much better. So, you know, anything that you can post, please get the word out. The registration does close October 22nd. And the reason we're doing that is just to let the folks that have so generously volunteered to be the guides know whether or not to come Saturday. We need to know how many guides we'll need.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Can anyone think of anything else that?
Edith, I appreciate you doing so much work
Yeah.
and putting all this together.
And,
That'd be
and
great.
we are anxious to help. A lot of us are. So send out, if you would, that email and what
I
you're
will do that.
and we'll be on it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun and just, you know, real interesting. And, you know, I hope this is something that can become an annual event. It's a good time to for folks to take trees home they've won as door prizes and get them in the ground. Yeah.
There's lots of trees to look at everywhere, so we could do it for years and years.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't sell trees. That's against Leisure City policy. But if we had a different venue for next year, that may be a possibility.
Well, yeah, so for door prizes, you just want us to email the group?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are emailing Edith, just be sure I can send out an initial email to everybody so everybody can just CC on that.
Okay. That'd be great.
But yeah, that sounds awesome.
I have some baby ginkgos.
Wow.
I don't know if they're male or female. That's the, you know.
It's a trick or a treat.
We'd have to be,
Trick or
yes, definitely. Very good.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. Like this is no pun intended coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Great. It's great. Well, yeah. I'll send that email out now. So everybody has everybody's email. And yeah, sounds good. Anything else you need from us?
There probably will be. I can't think of it, but yeah, we're getting down to the line.
Yeah. I know you may reach out to Mary Attaway, used a volunteer email program where I think it's called Sign Up Genius, maybe. She needed folks to fill in different things. So you can reach out to her and see if she can set up something, a Sign Up Genius that has, you know, somebody to sit at a table and answer questions, somebody to be nice, somebody, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can just sign up through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting. So I'm definitely planning on being there. Yeah.
And it's rain or shine. You know, we're kind of following Sandy Creek policy, in that if it's, you know, thundering and lightning, of course, you know, things are off and we don't have a rain date. If someone has donated, it's a donation. We don't have to give folks their money back. So keep your fingers crossed for good weather.
Yeah.
And does the donation go to CTC, or is it split between the three of us?
We had not discussed that.
Okay.
On our advertising blurb, we directed the donations go to CTC,
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
AthensTreeCouncil.com. Yeah,
That now.
yeah.
Good deal. And yeah, guys, all this info is on the if y'all are following along on your CTC meeting agenda for today, all this information is copied there as well. You need to reference it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great, thank you. You can count
Yeah.
on me for an ice chest full of ice at least. And then
Oh, great.
I'll be a
Okay.
spare body. I'll be a spare body. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Edith, anything else?
Not now, but I'm sure there will be later.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, we'll continue that via email.
Thank you for doing all that work.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
That is.
Sure. It's been interesting, and there's been great staff to work with out there. And Holly's done quite a lot with identifying everything and rounding up expert guides. And we've also had help from Lee with the through the Winterville Council.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. I know we all are. So yeah, yeah. Thank you, Edith. You've done a really good job on this. So just let us know what you need.
Okay.
All right. So it is 5:36. So does anybody have any other items, any discussion things you want to bring up? Okay. Would anybody like to make any particular motions at this time?
I'll move to adjourn.
All right, I will second that motion.
All in favor.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. It's good to see you guys again. Be in touch for that event. Talk soon. Thanks,
Good.
everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good night.
Two.